Hey beauties, I hope you're having a fabulous day. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to elaborate on a concept that I realized recently saved me from quite a hefty shopping mistake. And I thought it's worthwhile for us to talk about because I think it's something that we all can leverage in our shopping behaviors. It is the concept of "it's not my item." This was a statement that I kept on repeating right in my decluttering video. And when you guys started commenting on this specific phrase and that you said that you resonated with, then I was kind of like, wait, maybe I need to ruminate on this concept a little bit. And surely, shortly after, the universe tested me with an Hermès Kelly. I'm gonna get into that, but first, what is the concept of "it's not my item"? It's the fact that an item can be beautiful, it can be a perfect item, but maybe it's not the perfect item for you, right? Maybe this is one of those items that someone else says that, no, this is actually the perfect item for me. I use this so much, and then you buy it because you hear that someone else uses it a lot in their styling. But then when you have it, you're like, wait, this doesn't work for me at all. Even though we have similar styles, right? Me and this imaginary person who says that this specific item is perfect, right? But then when I get it into my wardrobe and I put it on my body, I realize that no, actually with the things that I have, maybe it's not matching with the rest of my wardrobe, or maybe with the style that I have, or my body type, or whatever. Maybe the vibes are just off. But maybe it's just not my item. And I think that's fine, right? But what made me come to this realization was that I was this close to purchasing an Hermès Kelly 35. I saw this beautiful Hermès Kelly 35 on the pre-loved market on Vestiaire Collective. I sent an offer to the seller. The seller accepted my offer. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was basically this beautiful bag in great condition. It's from 1997. It has Ardennes leather, right? I was enamored by this bag. I was like, oh my God, this is such a great bag. I have to buy it. Wait, it's so dark in here. There we go. Apologies. I was obsessed with this bag. I thought about it for a couple of days. Basically, I was chatting back and forth with the seller, getting all the information to understand whether the bag was really as good as it looked online. And according to her, it really was. It was in great condition. She had barely worn it. She had a matching twilly that I was gonna get included in the price and all of this kind of stuff, right? So I was just like, oh my God, is this finally the moment when I, Amanda Siedler, get an Hermès Kelly? And then I started watching literally every single review on YouTube that has been posted about an Hermès Kelly 35. Because that's what I do when I want to buy something. I'm like, okay, let me get all the information I possibly can about this freaking piece, right? And in the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm gonna get an Hermès Kelly 35, right? But then the more videos I watched, this little niggling thought in my mind was just like, no, actually that bag will be too big for you, Amanda. It will look like an actual briefcase. And I personally didn't want to wear it as like a work bag because I like to wear more carefree bags, I guess. I'm way too precious about my Birkin 35 to just wear it to work on a daily basis. And that was the vibe I think that Kelly would have given me from the information I got right when looking at those reviews. And also, I kind of made the realization that, okay, a lot of guys are buying this bag. This bag looks great on a guy, right? But I realized that with my build and my height, I think this bag will just look overpowering. That was the first kind of niggling feeling that maybe I shouldn't buy this bag actually. But then I was like, no, it's an Hermès Kelly. Of course I should buy it. It's a beautiful bag from 1997 in such great condition and this perfect like chocolatey Bordeaux-ish brown color. Why wouldn't you buy it? And it's at a great price. Just buy the bag. And then I did my research on Vestiaire Collective. I looked through. I'm like, are there any other Hermès Kellys that are at a better price? And I found like no Hermès Kelly 35s or any Hermès Kellys at a better price. I was just like, maybe this is the deal actually. Maybe I should just buy it, right? So I kept going through this process of should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Should I buy it? Should I not buy it? Which was when I realized that actually maybe this is a great bag, but maybe this is not my bag. But the final nail in the coffin for me was that I had seen this beautiful vintage Hermès bag from what I think is the 70s, and I was just lusting after this bag, but the seller never got back to me with information. She accepted my offer, but she didn't answer my question. So then I was just like, oh my god, I won't buy it. It makes no sense. I need to know the answers to the questions before I buy this bag, right? But then just hours before I was going to buy this Hermès Kelly 35, then the seller of that vintage Hermès bag, she answered my questions. And then I asked some more questions. She answered them as well. Then I sent the offer again. She accepted it. And then I was just like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Buying this bag would be so much fun because it's a vintage bag from the 70s and it's like a unique style and a unique shape. And then I was just like kind of forgetting about the Hermès Kelly, and then I realized the Kelly is simply not my item. I'm just buying it because I have it in my mind that I want a Kelly, but maybe this is not the Kelly I want, right? The Kelly that I really, really, really want is a Kelly 28, and I want it to be in either a navy or a rouge color. I want it to be box leather. I want it to be vintage, but vintage with a zipper, right? So not the really, really, really vintage ones, because those usually have a little bit of like dry leather and stuff like this, and I don't want the liability, to be completely honest. And I want to buy a bag that I can take care of, right? And make sure that it doesn't get to that point of the leather becoming flaky. That's just the bag that I really, really, really want. And I would rather wait, not buy the Kelly 35, and wait for the perfect Kelly 28, because if I buy this Kelly 35, that's gonna be my like major bag budget for the year, right? So it would be stupid of me to buy a bag just because I'm excited about it and just because it's a beautiful, perfect item, but probably a perfect item for someone else and not a perfect item for me. And I think that's an important distinction, right? In finding our signature styles, realizing what's authentically for us and what isn't. I mean, that's the key learning to actually sustainably building your forever wardrobe into something that you will want to have and take care of and wear and style in many different ways for years. And in embracing your signature style, or at least in embracing my signature style, I've kind of realized there are no life hacks, there are no cheat codes. I mean, at the end of the day, what I want is just a luxurious cashmere sweater, a luxurious handbag is what I gravitate towards, a great pair of loafers, a beautiful riding boot, a beautiful coat. And in knowing that, I'm not willing to sacrifice any of those things that I know that I really, really, really want for something that's an almost perfect item, or a perfect item for someone else, but just not my item. And honestly, being settled with that mindset is kind of freeing in a way, because there will always be so many beautiful items out there that you could potentially buy, that could potentially be a good deal for you, right, to buy. But at the end of the day, if it's not your item, then it's not a good deal and it's not a good purchase, because to build your signature style in an authentic way, having the level of discernment of no, this is not my item is kind of key, and it's the foundation we need to stand on when we decide what to buy and, more importantly, what not to buy. And it can save you from making expensive shopping mistakes at that. But speaking of shopping, you're probably wondering, Amanda, did you buy that bag from the 70s, that vintage bag that you talked about being more excited about, versus the 10 times more expensive Hermès Kelly that you were initially thinking of buying? Well, of course, my dear. We have a little, not unboxing, because I unboxed this on my own timeline. Basically, this was something I also bought on Vestiaire Collective. When I saw this bag at first, I was like, oh my god, that's fabulous. It is a chocolate brown bag. It has suede on the front of the bag, leather on the back of the bag. Oh my god, did you see that shine? Can you believe that this is vintage and old? No, you can't. It is a bag model, from what I've understood, that's called Il Dico, with a reservation for pronunciation. I've got no idea how to pronounce this. From what I understood, it should be from like the 70s or something like this. It has the gold hardware detail, and it has a shoulder strap that is modular. Basically, you can, since it has two buckles, you can remove one piece of the strap and clip the shorter piece to basically have a shoulder bag. How fabulous is that? This bag is just stunning, and when she accepted my offer of what is basically $500 $500. I was just like, oh my God, I need to buy it. Or it was $500 including the authentication and the shipping and all of this kind of stuff, right? So all expenses paid, $500. First off, okay, let me just close this up so that you can see the exterior before we talk about the interior. First off, we have the beautiful suede on the front of the bag and that shiny leather on the kind of corners and edges of the bag. Yes, it does show a little bit on the suede that the bag has been worn, but equally I think it looks great considering how old this bag is. Then on the sides, you basically have kind of a folded bag structure, and then on, let me show you the back as well. You basically just have this shiny leather, kind of box leather backing to it, and those little D-rings that keep the shoulder strap in place. Then obviously you just have that same kind of box type leather on the shoulder strap, and with those two gold buckles. And the bottom of the bag also looks literally pristine. How fabulous is this? Let me just show you the modularity of this bag before we go to the interior. So one piece of the shoulder strap, fastening the shorter shoulder strap into the first buckle, right? And there you have a little shoulder bag. How fabulous is that? Is that not the most cute thing? In this time and space where everyone talks about modularity, I mean, I could also just have this in the crook of my arm. So chic. And can you imagine that this is a vintage Hermès bag from the 70s or whatever year? I think 70s, allegedly, in my opinion, 70s. At such a great price. I think it's ridiculous. And here you do have basically an indentation from the top flap on the suede, but I mean that's just something that will happen when you have this type of construction of a bag. You have Hermès Paris there in a gold debossing on the bag, and then we have just the interior with the same leather on the inside and a small pocket here on the back, which likely you won't fit a lot into, right? But I mean, this bag is just stunning. Can you imagine that this is a bag from the 70s? I mean, I think this is just fabulous. And on that note as well, I think this truly gives equestrian, right? Because to me, this bag kind of has the shape of a saddle, right? So it does play into that, in my mind at least, to that equestrian heritage and history of Hermès, which I think just makes it all the better, honestly. And it came... Wait, have you been hearing me at all? I left the microphone on the bottom of my chair. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. Can I not fasten it in some sort of way? But when people fasten it, usually gives all of these scratchy sounds, and it usually annoys me when watching other people's videos. I'm not sure what to do with this, honestly. I think it's cute holding it, but okay. Whatevs. I hope you heard me okay. And the way I found this on Vestiaire Collective was literally just searching for leather, suede, and exotic leather bags. In general, all types of bags on Vestiaire Collective from Hermès, and I sorted it from price lowest to highest, right? And then I just found this bag style because I had no idea that this specific bag model existed before that weekend when I found this on Vestiaire Collective, and then I became obsessed, and then she didn't reply, and then I was just like, oh, that is so sad. But then she replied, and then she accepted my offer again, and then I got it. So excited. And this is the thing. What I wanted to say before I got so surprised by the mic being on the armchair. Hermès crafts beautiful items, right? So I thought, why not try to buy a vintage bag model from Hermès that maybe doesn't have all the clout and all the, like, you know, perceived value in terms of recognition and stuff like this as most of the, like, major bag models that people talk about today. But why not try it? Because obviously Hermès makes beautiful quality things. So why would this be any less of a qualitative item, right? Because it's simply just not one of the bag models that picked up by the masses, I guess. And I looked online and I found a few, very, very few of this bag model in good conditions online. Most of them were on auction sites that I'd never heard of, so I won't link those because I've got no idea how trustworthy those are. But I mean, getting an Hermès bag for 500 euros just has me feeling like I won the lottery, honestly. I'm so excited about this little cutesy bag, honestly. And I was thinking like this with my Burberry trench coat and the honey color would be so cute. And especially just worn long on the shoulder with the longer shoulder strap, I think could just look like so retro chic. And I am so here for it. So at the end of the day, my learning was if you're not 100% super excited about something, and if you're still considering it, why are you doubting it? And why are you still considering it? Think about those things. Is it just that, no, it's a little bit expensive, so I think maybe it will be a purchase that hurts a little bit initially, but I think it's something that I will wear forever? Then I would say, save up, bite the bullet when you can afford it, and then that's fine, right? But if you're doubting it because you're like, I'm not quite sure it's actually my item, then I would say have a real think about it. Because if it's not your item, then why are you trying to purchase it? Let someone else purchase it who would feel like this is actually like really their item and what they want to buy, and then you can go on to purchase something else and spend your hard-earned money where you feel like it will actually count for your wardrobe. I'm so excited about this bag. I am happy, and it felt kind of freeing not to buy that Kelly, to be completely honest. I still think it's a beautiful bag, but I've just realized that a Kelly 35, at least at this point in my life, is not my item. Also, this bag, before I forget it, came with a little dust bag, and I think it's so cute. I think you saw that in the beginning when I held up the bag, so that's fine. What's your take on all of this? Do you think "it's not my item" is a phrase that you resonate with and will have use for when deciding on what to buy and what not to buy? For me, it's definitely something that I realized real time that is a valuable kind of thing for me to determine what's worth buying for me and what's not worth buying. I will keep it in mind going forward as of now, and honestly, I think we attribute that to growth. Thank you so much for spending this time and space with me. I really enjoyed having this chat with you. If you enjoy this chat with me, please give me a little, what heart do we want to have today? Maybe a purple heart, because I have a purple sweater, or a pink heart, or whatever heart you want. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and until my next video, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.